there's a real myth that we live in our country and probably in the world, but I know our country, and that is that there's not enough. There's not enough of anything, really. There's not enough money, of course, there to go around for everybody. There's not, in my own life, I can look at times when I've said there's not enough time, or I didn't get enough sleep, or I don't have enough energy. I don't know if any of this is resonating with any of you, but all of these ways that we buy into scarcity, it's not just about money, although that's a big part of it, but it's also about just listen to ourselves in our daily life. So there's this myth that there's not enough. There's not enough to go around. And, you know, when COVID-19 started, came up and we had to start, what do you call it? Not I was thinking evacuating. I'm thinking of the fires right now when we had to start, you know, sheltering in place. Did you notice how all the toilet paper went away? Did you notice how the hand sanitizer went away? Did you notice how so many things that maybe we just took for granted weren't there anymore, especially paper products and cleaning products, disinfectants? And I believe that is a symbol of the not enough consciousness. Because when we think we don't have enough, then we have to make sure we get ours. You know, if we have the not enough consciousness, it means somebody's going to get left out here. It means there's not enough for everybody, so I've got to get mine. Does that make sense to you? And we saw that happening. So that's such a great example of not enough consciousness. We saw it happening as the shelves became barren. And not just the paper products, but so many things. You walk into the supermarket and there are all these empty shelves because people got into fear. Not enoughness comes from a place of separation, from a place of fear, that, oh my God, what if I'm not taken care of? Oh my God, what if I don't have enough? Oh my God, what if I don't have enough money to pay the rent? Oh my God, what if? So we see that consciousness comes from that place of fear. And to me, fear comes from a place of separation. If I'm separate or feeling myself separate from the infinite, then I can go into fear. When I know my oneness, I can't be in fear because I know there's one presence, one life, one intelligence, and that it's always, always here surrounding me, indwelling me. It is my life, and I know I'm provided for. What I often think of is that spirit, God, whatever we want to call this infinite intelligence, created the entire cosmos, right? Created the universe, all the solar systems, the galaxies, the stars, the planets. It created all of this, and then all of the wonderful things on this earth plane. And you know, that same spirit that created all of this stuff also orders it, harmonizes it, prospers it. I mean, you don't see planets banging into each other. You see a divine order in the universe. You see that which created it also sustains it and cares for it. And so if spirit can do this for the entire universe and all of the galaxies and solar systems, it can certainly order and prosper and sustain and nurture my little life. It certainly can. So I look at it that way. So this not enoughness, the real spiritual truth here is that there is enough because spirit is our very life. So I'm going to come back to that in a minute. But the second place I want to go, another myth I want to cover today, is there's not enough. And so therefore, there's the myth that more is better. More is better. So I got to get more, got to get more, got to get more. And we know, you know, we know spiritual truth, and we know that the more is never going to satisfy our soul. We can accumulate and amass all kinds of stuff in our lives, all kinds of abundance, and it's not going to satisfy the soul. Now, as I'm saying this, I have to also preface it with that stuff is not bad. It's wonderful to enjoy the things of this world. There's nothing wrong with that. However, when I'm feeling like I have to always get more, and coming from a place of lack, a place of scarcity, a place of limitation, a place of not enough, then I got to look at that. I have to take a look at that. Where am I coming from? Am I wanting more because my soul wants to enjoy more beauty, or or that I want to support somebody, and so I'm buying more of stuff, the stuff that they're buying? Where am I coming from? And we can see this more is better consciousness all around us. Remember that bumper sticker that said, "He who dies with the most toys is," what's the rest of it? I wrote it down actually, because the one that dies with the most toys wins. That was the bumper sticker. That is the epitome of not enough and more is better. That's the epitome of this myth of scarcity. I've got to make sure I have mine. And the problem, there are a lot of problems with that, but a big problem with that is that it immediately puts me at odds with other people. That immediately I have to think, well, I've got to get mine, and maybe if you have more than I do, there's something wrong with that. Maybe, if you get plenty, then I won't have enough. Do you see how that works? It happens in relationships. Jealousy comes from not enough. If I see you with this other person, whether you're being in a relationship or not, kids get this way too. I've got granddaughters that are teenagers and preteens, and they get into this thing of, well, she's a friend with somebody else now, so I can't be her friend. That kind of a thing. That's all this myth of scarcity. There's not enough. More is better. I got to have more friends. I got to have more expressions. I've got to have better cars. I have to have a better living space. I have to. Lynn Twist, in her book, The Soul of Money, which is where I have gotten a lot of these ideas and just have expanded upon them. In her book, The Soul of Money, she talks about how in nature, you look at nature, and nature, there's always enough. Now you might say, well, Mother Earth, the planet's not doing so well. That's our doing. That's not Mother Nature. That's not the way it was created. That is our doing. However, what I really believe, what I know, and particularly after reading her stuff, is that even as we experience the after effects that we're experiencing now of climate change, there can still be enough, because God didn't go anywhere. Spirit didn't go anywhere. The quality of abundance didn't go anywhere. It's still present. There is a sufficiency. She makes a point too, that in all of nature, you look at nature, nature doesn't buy into more is better. The oak tree doesn't have to get as tall as the redwood tree. If you look at that, there's all this diversity in nature, and everything is fine just as it is. It doesn't have to be more than it is. So we look at nature and learn so much from nature. So what's the real truth here? The real truth is that there is a sufficiency for everyone on this planet. The world can work for everyone. However, what that's going to take is the release of some of this myth of scarcity. It's going to take enough of us knowing in consciousness that there is plenty for all, and enough of us living in a place of grace is my sufficiency to shift that belief on the planet. And when enough of us are in that consciousness, that critical mass that they used to call it, when enough of us are in that consciousness, the vibration of the planet gets lifted and something changes. We notice changes taking place. Now, I do have to say that oftentimes before that happens, everything unlike it does come up sometimes. So just be aware of that. And I think right now, with all we're going through in our country, everything unlike a lot of things is up. for us to heal. We're getting to, I'm kind of off topic now, but I'm going to go there, that, there's so much that needs to be healed, and we have been shown it. We've been shown racial injustice. We've been shown police brutality. We've been shown, poverty. We've been shown kids in cages. We've been shown all of this. And so it's ours to lift the vibration of the planet so that this cannot continue to happen. And yes, it can happen. And yes, changes can be made politically, they can be made socially. And if they're not also made in consciousness, they aren't going to last. That's just the truth of it. Consciousness is what creates form. Consciousness is what's eternal. Consciousness is what lasts. Consciousness is what matters. Consciousness matters, I like to say. Consciousness becomes matter. So that was a little segue. So I'm going to come back to where I was now with the truth is sufficiency. There's one presence, there's one power, there's one life. We say that all the time in our teaching. There is only one. That one is everything. It is everyone. It is you. It is me. It is every single thing we see and touch and taste and feel. It's the very chair we're sitting on. Everything is that one. And that one is the source, the supply, and the sufficiency of everything that is. It is infinite supply. What I want you to get right now is that infinite supply of spirit, and which is a potentiality, that infinite supply is within you now already. You are not separate from that. Your good is not outside of you. You don't have to keep amassing more and more and more to prove that you've got enough. You already have enough. See, it all comes down to you are enough. You are the presence. You are spirit, God in the flesh, whatever we want to call it. You are, I like to say, a unique way that heaven has come to earth. You are representing the divine on this earth plane. And so you have within you everything you need, all of the qualities of the divine. So I'm going to give you something to practice here. When you feel like, when you're feeling that you don't have enough, when you're feeling that in any of your area of your life there's not enough, what I want you to do is find in that particular area, find at least a little bit of something that you can appreciate. If you're feeling you don't have enough money, what money do you have? Can you look at what you do have rather than what you don't have? Oh, okay, I've got this little bit of money here. Can I heap appreciation on it? You see, what you appreciate appreciates. Get that? What you appreciate appreciates. So bring appreciation. If you feel like you don't have enough love in your life, where's a little bit of love maybe, that you do have? A little bit of love from someone that you do know. Appreciate that. Because what happens then when we bring appreciation, what we're doing is we're magnifying that consciousness of what we have. Jesus even said at one point, let me see if I don't know if I can correctly quote him, but he said something to the effect of, the ones who have get more. The ones who have not, more is taken away. Now that sounds pretty harsh, but what he was talking about, I believe, he was talking about consciousness. The ones who have this consciousness of abundance, this consciousness of enough, this consciousness of love, this consciousness of joy, this consciousness of peace, this consciousness of creativity. Those that have that consciousness, more is given, more expresses. That's our belief. And when we don't have that consciousness, when we focus on what we don't have rather than what we do have, then we're going to create more of I don't have. That's just the way the law of the universe works. So focus, give your appreciation to even if they're teeny tiny little things, on what is working in your life. and watch them appreciate, watch them grow, because what you're doing is you're creating a different feeling tone within yourself. A different feeling tone within yourself creates a different vibration, a different frequency in which you walk. And so that's going to assist you in experiencing and expressing more and more sufficiency. And why do I use the word sufficiency? I'm using it, it's a term that Lynn Twist coined. Well, she didn't coin it, but she uses it a lot. And I really like it because I think in New Thought for many, many years, we were in the more is better consciousness. We were in the consciousness of, I'm going to manifest and get this and get that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think it's a necessary stage to go through. However, I think we're beyond that now. I think now we can look at what we have and go, do I have enough? I mean, I was just thinking as I was preparing this talk, I was thinking to myself earlier today, I think I need to kind of look in my closets again and look at, look in my cupboards and see what's there. And I know, for example, because my kids have given me so many flower gifts. I know I've got way too many vases in my cupboard. Let's just use that for an example. I don't know if any of you have that, but I have received so many flowers and so many vases. It's like, oh my God. And so that's a silly example, but can you look at your life and go, okay, I have a sufficiency, and maybe I've got too much of something. Because here's another truth of the universe. Another truth is that everything in existence needs to be of service to life. David Spangler talks about that in his book, The Laws of Manifestation. Everything that needs to be in service, even inanimate objects. So that's the thing of, if I've got stuff in my cupboards that haven't been used for years, I need to free them up so that they can be of service in someone else's life. That's a way of generosity. That's a way of giving to the universe. So I don't know why that came up, but it did. So, but I love that idea. So I want to talk for a few minutes too about giving, because when I know that I have enough, then I want to share it. When I come from a place of scarcity, I don't have enough, then I got to hold on to it, right? I got to totally hold on to it. And so I don't feel I can give. I was that way for many, 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 many years. I've had to work this whole consciousness of abundance for many years. I'd be one of those people who, when the offering came up, I would get my $1 out, or whatever, and wouldn't even have it all laid out nicely. It kind of was crumpled up, and just stuck it in the offering basket, without even being aware of what I was doing, that I was circulating something. And as I got more and more into this teaching, I I'm a huge giver now. I probably overgive, but you can't outgive God. So I wouldn't say I overgive, but I learned about tithing, and I hated the idea of tithing when I first heard that. That's giving 10% of your income to your spiritual source. I hated that idea. I thought it was one of the worst things that we could ever come up with. However, at some point, I think I was in spiritual practitioner training at the time, something in me said, just give it a try. So I've always been obedient to that inner voice. So I gave it a try. I thought, okay, I'll try. If it doesn't work out, then I'll just go back to what I've been doing. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. Within like 3 or 4 months, I had moved on to 2 other jobs, both of which paid a lot more. And I was a single mother of 2 daughters at the time. So I just noticed how everything in my life started flowing more because I wasn't hanging on. See, before I was hanging on, I was constricted. I got to hold on to this. I'm not going to have enough, And now I just live in that consciousness of knowing I am always supported, always, no matter what. And I'm not saying it's always been, flowing the way I would like it to. However, I have never lost my faith and trust in life, and in that I am supported, because I've just noticed, I've watched how it always works out. And that those times when it doesn't seem like there have been enough, in those times, it's been, as Reverend Michael told me once, he said, Joan, that's just an opening for Spirit to rush in and fill with more. And I thought, oh, well, that's a great way of looking at it. And sure enough, it always resolved itself. It always worked itself out. So I hold that out to you, to give generously in lots of ways. I actually, I give to causes that I believe are in alignment with my spiritual truth. I give generously to my spiritual community. And it's not, and now I don't even think about tithing, because it just automatically happens, because I love to give. Do you love to give? I just put that question out to you. Do you love to give? If you don't, then I'm not saying there's anything wrong with you, but if you don't, there's something a little out of alignment, because we are made in the spiritual image and likeness of the divine, and its divine nature is to give. So we're here to give. We're here to be distribution centers for God's goodness, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's joy. That's why unforgiveness is treacherous to the soul, because you're holding on to something. We're here to give, to forgive, to share. That's our nature. And then the way it works, as Jesus said once, is, and in Hebrew scriptures too, what you sow, you reap. It comes back. But we don't give in order to get. We give for the joy of giving. That's what I'm almost always say when I'll do an offering with my community. Give from your heart for the joy of giving, because the very energy with which you give is the energy you're putting out into the world, and is also the energy that will come back to you. So when you have the opportunity to give, whether it's your beautiful spiritual community, whether it's to a homeless person on the street, and you can decide, follow your intuition, how you need to do that, whether it's to a cause that you feel drawn to, whether it's to someone in your life that you want to support in a certain way. When you're feeling that impulse to give, follow it. Don't be afraid. You'll be afraid a little bit sometimes. I was, but I had to just kind of just be with the fear and then do it anyway. And my life is so blessed. And I don't have all the money that Oprah Winfrey has, I don't have billions of dollars. And I know I am always supplied and taken care of. Each of us will express that abundance in a different way. Each of us will do it in a different way. For some of us, it might mean that we have lots of money and we distribute it in a big way. For others, it might mean we don't have so much. I've known people that haven't had much in the way of material things or money, and are more abundant than some of the wealthiest people on the planet, because they trust. They know they're always taken care of. It's not a matter of quantity. It's a matter of the quality of our consciousness. Where am I in consciousness? Accepting my good, knowing that grace, that activity of spirit that's called grace, the givingness of spirit, is my sufficiency in everything. And knowing that I can't outgive spirit. I can't outgive life. It has to support me. I am its own. It has to support you. You are its own. You are its own creative idea that it loves and cherishes. And so you have to be supported by the universe. That's what I'm knowing for you right here and right now. So I'm going to wrap it up here. So the myths of scarcity, two of them, there are others, but two of them are, there's not enough, more is better. And the truth is, and we're here at this time to anchor this truth, is that there is a sufficiency of all good in our lives. Take a look at your life. Notice, appreciate what's there. When when your ego mind, and it's going to want to do this, wants to go to there's not enough of whatever it is, you know, then just notice that that's where it's going and gently bring it back and say, ah, but where am I experiencing sufficiency? What do I have? And be grateful for it, appreciate it. And you'll notice that your life opens up in so many different ways. You know, it opens up financially, and it opens up in so many ways that, you know, in love, in friendships, in community. You're blessed to be in this beautiful community. So I think I'm going to stop there because I have so much more I could say to you. I'm going to stop there, and we're going to move into prayer together. Yeah, and as we move into prayer, I just want to encourage you to really support your spiritual community. David's doing great work here, and you're all doing great work here. There's a thing that happens in community. Here I go, I'm talking again. But there's a thing that happens in community that very few people are the ones who keep it going, who, both financially and with service and so forth. Let's not be that kind of community. Let's be a community where everybody participates in ways that they can. Let's just bring our best. And I know you're doing that, and I encourage you to continue with that. And with that, let's just turn within now and take a moment of prayer. I invite you to join me in taking a breath. So many words. It's time to be still for a minute. Just be still. Notice the breath. And so I begin this prayer in gratitude, grateful for this beloved community, grateful for this time together, grateful for the consciousness that together we bring to the planet. And in this place of gratitude, I acknowledge one presence, one power, one life, one love, one intelligence, one field, one infinite field of all possibility, that one life that is being itself everywhere, in and through and as all of creation. It is the life of each and every one of us, right here, right now. I am that I am is our name and our nature. And so we are gifted with the all good of the divine. Every quality that we attribute to spirit is present within us. Love, joy, peace, harmony, wisdom, intelligence, creativity, power, the power of God, present within us. Abundance, wholeness and vitality and well-being, beauty, order, all of this and more than I can even say right now, fully present, fully orbed within us. So I claim it now and know by the power of this word, these qualities are activated in our lives. I speak a word claiming that each one of us is so lovingly cherished by the infinite. Each one of us is enough. For each of us is the divine presence on this earth plane. So I give thanks for this. I'm grateful to know this. I speak a word blessing this community. Unity of San Jose, knowing that within this community, within the idea of this community is everything necessary for its fulfillment, for its prosperity, for its growth. And so I'm grateful to know all of this and the more. In gratitude for this, knowing that the word spoken is already done, already complete in spirit. I simply release it now. I let it go. I don't hold on to it. I trust and know it's in action even as I speak. So I let go. The law of the universe is acting upon it, and it is done. And so it is. Amen. Ashe.